you should make music, you'll be on the stage.
This is not gonna work.
Direct big club venues.
Probably the other way around.
Right now, these live shows.
What advice can you give Berlin?
Wood, cow.
This is the stuff I would use myself.
Zventa, Gauja, Daugava.
You have to go to Berlin to be a great producer. Are you good?
I'm perfect.
Super. Ciao, my name is Holz and this is T-Studio Talks.
Hello, my name is Holz and you are watching T-Studio Talks. My good friend, I hope so, from today will be Robert Holz from Berlin, Germany. Hi.
Hi. Nice.
How are you doing? It's your first time in Riga?
No, it's my 5th time or something like that, so I'm not a newcomer anymore.
Yeah. But you also played a performance here in Riga, or this will be the first time?
Yeah, so it will be my first live performance with synthesizer and everything, but I did DJ last year.
Oh.
Yeah, but so that's my first live gig and the second time I DJ. Yeah.
When you started to do like musician kind of career, like DJing, you told, and right now these live performances?
So the DJing stuff I started around 2013, I think, when I was in Australia, you know, I was clubbing there and stuff like that, and you know, I just thought I could be a good DJ, which was of course very arrogant at the time, and so I started buying like a Serato deck and everything and a laptop, and those were my first DJ steps. And then like 2 years later I was DJing the first time in Dresden, where I was living for like 9 years. And after that gig I decided I wanted to pick up vinyl, so I did that on the same year, and then when I moved to Berlin I just kept practicing. Yeah, and ever since then I almost only DJ with vinyl, and then about I think 5 years ago I just started learning music, you know, because I thought, you know, everyone has this kind of depression, I guess, in their life. What do I want to do for the rest of my life, you know? And I was like, yeah, I want to do not this, not this, not that. And then I realized the thing that gives me the most joy in life is going to parties and do techno and to listen to techno. So I thought, yeah, I just will make this on my own.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I bought my first little Volca synthesizers.
When you are selecting vinyls, you started to play techno, or it was like different genre of music?
Now, when I started playing vinyl, I was mostly playing house. But you know, when you're in Berlin and you go to record stores, there's such an insane selection of good tracks, and you don't just, I go to the house rack. Also that's at least how I do it. I just go randomly and pick a vinyl, you know, and I listen to it, and then I got deeper and deeper into techno, you know, and I realized it's such a great style of music, and mainly because it's, I think right now anyway, it's more creative than the house, yeah, because house tends to stick to a lot of classic sounds, which
Same rules, yeah.
Yeah, you know, pianos and organs and whatnot. And techno just, at least in certain techno styles, just keeps evolving, and you have extremely interesting soundscapes that you don't find anywhere else. Yeah.
And these live performances, I saw you have Deluge sequencer, Elektron analog rhythm, some sort of modeler. How you started that kind of live set?
Oh, that just grew by itself. I didn't plan on playing a live set like this. I just, you know, when I first started out, I wanted to do it all analog, you know. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a big mixing desk and a 24-track tape machine and stuff like that. And maybe like after a year, I quickly realized, you know, building the studio with my best friend, that this is not gonna work. Yeah, it's just, you know, these old things, they keep falling apart, and you need to do, either you have a person who repairs them for you, you have a really good technical guy, or you know the technical stuff yourself. And I didn't have neither, so I realized, okay, let's turn this down a little bit and add a little bit more modern stuff, like a computer, digital synthesizers and whatnot. And then over time it just evolved, you know. I always wanted to have a modular but I didn't have the money at the time, so, you know.
Yeah, it's quite expensive to use modular systems and play only from that one, yeah?
Yeah, that's the most expensive route you can take. I mean, you can do all in the modular. You can have a drum machine, a sequencer, a polysynth, you know what I'm saying, no? And but then you're easily in like 20, 40, 50 grand kind of territory if you want to have it all in the modular world. Yeah.
Berlin and all of this vibe around you. Can you describe more for Latvians, like DJs, producers who are right now listening to this Studio Talk session? Do you think you are in the right place because you are from Germany and you live in Berlin and you're making music, or you want to maybe step out from this scene to see the whole picture? Or you feel like you are intern, you should make music, you'll be on the stage and you feel like in the family and community together?
Yeah, so on the one hand, I think being in Berlin is a great opportunity to make music because there's just so much stuff available there, you know, let alone the DJ part. Yeah, you have so many record stores. Nowhere on the world you have so many record stores with so many great records. So that by itself is already a gift, you know. And then when it comes to producing, you can get any kind of hardware almost in Berlin only. Yeah, let's say I want this Casio CZ1000, I will find one in Berlin.
Yeah,
and I can get it.
Market is big, yeah.
Yeah, I can get it for pretty cheap because the used market is big as well. And then, you know, connection to other artists is obviously a big plus, you know.
Friend by friend, you know, this one guy who is like doing some shows, yeah.
Yeah, so I have a studio with my best friend in Kreuzberg, and only through the studio we are meeting so many other musicians. It's crazy, you know, because Berlin is such a big city with so many musicians, but here comes the but, I think it has a very anonymous feeling still. I don't feel there's this great close little community like here in Riga, for instance. Yeah, through my friends I realize here in Riga the community is much more tightly knit together, and people are helping each other more than in Berlin, because in Berlin it's this big business and you can see that people treat it as a business and not like a family thing, like music they want to share with each other. Yeah. So of course, like everywhere, you have the pros and the cons. And but I think if you want to just get started, you know, you could spend some time in Berlin and, you know, find a lot of resources that would help you be a better musician. But I don't think there's a must in any kind of way that you have to go to Berlin to be a great producer. You can be anywhere with a laptop and be the best producer in the world.
So your evolution, for example, these vinyl collection, DJing, right now these live shows, how you see yourself after 5 years?
It's
still in Berlin?
Not necessarily. Well, performing, yes, performing in Berlin, but I don't want to live in Berlin in 5 years anymore. I want to live on the countryside, you know, because first of all, the countryside.
Calm down, yeah?
Calm down.
But still listening and making techno.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's like, it's a big inspiration to be outside, and also you can collect many great field recordings when you're in a countryside and it's quiet and stuff like that.
Woods, cow.
Yeah, anything really. Yeah. Just the wind, the water, you know, dripping off a surface and whatnot. It's
talking about the water. I listened to one of your tracks on SoundCloud, and the name was one of the most top popular river in Latvia, which is called Venta.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Did it sampled from Venta River, or how did this name happen?
Yeah, so actually my girlfriend Katrina, she this one time when she was here in Latvia, she took the field recorder with her and she just collected, you know, random field recordings. And one of them was this sample she took from a little source at the river. And that, you know, water sound, I took it and I cut it, and then I put it through the modular. And the modular system created a harmonic and a rhythm based on the water's movement. And then I did a lot of post-processing and stuff like that, and it turned out to be that.
Interesting idea. Yeah. Maybe you should make EP, which is called Latvian Rivers. So one is Venta, Gauja, Daugava.
Yeah, maybe.
And then you can put on modular, granular, and make different soundscapes. You visited Riga for 5th time, and maybe you have some advice for us how we need to change our community. For example, clubs should be different, communities should be stick together, or maybe some other advice which you can already see from Berlin perspective to Riga.
Well, it's probably the other way around. What advice can you give Berlin to be a better club scene again? Yeah, that's at least my feeling. But to be honest, I can't really judge on that deeply because I haven't been to a club here in Riga for like, you know, you have to count. You have to get some experiences, you have to be there over a longer period of time to judge something. But then again, I'm not a big fan of judging anyway. I think everything is in its right place at the whole time. You know, everything is evolving as it should, and but yeah, like I said, it's probably the other way around. How can Berlin get back more to its roots than where it is now? But that's just my feeling.
Do you prefer live sets more like to small pubs and new places, or like direct big club venues? Or it doesn't matter the place, it's only music and...
Yeah, so the case with bigger venues is obviously you have greater sound and the sound is pumping and loud and that has its own energy. But you are not connected to the people so much because usually there's like this big stage and you're like above everyone and stuff like that. I personally prefer it to be more up close, so you can feel the people more directly. And yeah, it's obvious that you can build a better connection when there's less people around.
Tell me more about your live setup. It's Deluge, analog rhythm, modular. Can you tell me more how you came with this setup?
So it actually evolved through my playing live with my best friend. We are in a duo and we do like almost, let's say 90% improvised live set, So he's a piano player, he does all the melodies and all the chords and whatnot, and I do the drums and the whole atmosphere around that, So we had a lot of iterations on how we're gonna do it, and at first we were like, we're gonna completely improvise with analog synthesizers and drum machines and with an analog desk. But that didn't work out at all, because the sound is just so over the place. You are missing the proper processing for the sound, so it pumps and it has, structure everywhere. And then over the years, it evolved from that to, okay, we produce some tracks now. We're gonna take some sounds out of there, maybe a loop or two. And then we're gonna put that into our samplers, into the drum machine. And then we're gonna improvise from there. Okay. So, and he had all the melodic samples and I had all the rhythmic samples, so to say. A little bit of crossover in between. And that was what I have now, the modular, the drum machine, the Deluge and the mixing desk, plus, the effects devices. And he had like his keyboard and an MPC and I think that's about it. And now, because I was coming here alone, so I thought, how can I make this work by myself?
Smaller packages and
So I took some of the samples I gave him, put them on my second sampler, took some chords, put them on a drum machine, and then, I was there and I tried it out at home and it worked pretty well, and this is the stuff I would use myself always.
Perfect. We will see your setup on 420 Jam, so check also 420 Jams after these Studio Talks, and see you maybe on countryside around Berlin, or maybe inside the big venue. Thank you for coming.
Paldies.
Yeah, super. Thank you very much. Keep subscribing on Studio channel, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. See you. My name is Holz. And you're?
Holz.
Holz. Easy. Ciao.
Ciao.
Mums ir daudz dažādu citu video, šeit, te apakšā skaties. Ļoti daudz dažādu Latvijā pazīstami cilvēki. Seko mums Instagramā, nāc uz veikalu, Firsa Sadovņiko vielā 21 un tiekamies jau nākošajos video. Paldies tev!